Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. We're absolutely delighted to see so many people here. We were really encouraged with the number of sign-ups and pretty much everyone's coming. Welcome to our charity finance update. My name's Giles Kerkham. I head up charities at Larkin Gowan. Why have we got so many turned up? Well, we think the timing of this is, we know that the Opportunity Network and the breakfast helps, but actually there is something in the timing now. There is a lot going on. We have consultations coming up on financial reporting and on regulation and on aspects of tax, and we were very, very keen to get this seminar in now in June in 2025. What are we going to talk about? First of all, introduce the topics, and I'll introduce the speakers. We are talking about the draft SORP 2026. This is the financial reporting standard. This is the standard that sets out how you present your charity to the world, both in terms of financial reporting in numbers and in terms of words. And a new standard is coming up. This is done in consultation. So we're going to try and introduce to you the key changes and what they mean to you. I'll be talking about this. Also, Chris Yates will be talking about that as well. Next, also, there is a thresholds consultation. This determines also things in the regulation of charities, whether you're audited, whether you're registered, aspects of your fundraising. Again, Chris is going to talk about this. Gift aid, there are a number of proposals in the gift aid world. There are also practicalities. I'm delighted to introduce Andrew Robinson, our tax partner, our charities tax partner, our new charities tax partner. We're very, very lucky to have him. He will be talking about this. Andrew will be bringing his knowledge and his particular contact with HMRC. He sits on the gift aid forum at HMRC. He's in fact the Chartered Institute of Taxation representative on that, so he's very, very close to what's coming up there. And finally, but very much not least, VAT. Again, VAT is always moving. VAT is always litigious. VAT carries risk. VAT carries opportunity, and it's complicated. And we are incredibly fortunate to have Julie Gill talking to us. Julie, many of you know, Julie advises many of you, and she is the preeminent charities VAT advisor in this region, and she knows her stuff, and she can communicate it. I think that would come over the forums. No pressure. Apart from informing you today is timed. So conversations that we have today and feedback we get today can feed into our responses on the consultations. The SORP consultation closes next week. The threshold consultation closes tomorrow. Andrew's going to gift aid forum next week. So again, that's brilliant and well designed. Administration, there's no planned fire alarm. So if the fire alarm goes off, we have to go. Then it's around the corner here. I didn't know that till yesterday, but it's there. That's the exit. Or the stairs you came up, but that's the direct exit. If you want to ask questions, you're welcome to put your hand up, but you can also, using the card on your table, if you use your phones and photograph that, and that will take you through to Slido, where you can place a question and we'll pick these up. We're scheduled to stop at 10 o'clock. However, to stop speaking, please feel free to stay and to talk to contacts or colleagues, and just to feedback on what we're talking about. There will be tea and coffee at the end. Right. So, without further ado, Chris is looking at us because Chris is worried. Chris, don't go on too long. You can go a bit shorter because we'll go a bit short on the first bit. Right. You saw. This is an exposure draft. We'll see. Exposure draft sorts 2026. It's in consultation, so we can influence it at the edges at least with our feedback. However, it's pretty close to being issued, so we think the most of what we're going to say today is fairly reliable, particularly what Chris is saying, because the accounting bits are pretty much set in stone. The narrative, which I'm talking about, might move still. It's been in, the last sort was, for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to go back a bit. Statement of recommended practice. It covers accounting and reporting and narrative reporting in your accounts. Statement of recommended practice is recommended analysis. It's mandatory. Mandatory if you're doing it across accounts. The last sort was 2014. This one's been in consultation since 2021. This was issued in March. Consultation closes next Friday. It's due for publication, they say, October. I take that with a pinch of salt because they've got to take our responses, read them, adjust, and get it past the Commercial Reporting Council. But it will be issued by the end of the year because it will be effective with effect from 1st of January 2026. So it's not imminent in terms of your accounts. It will affect 1st of January 2026, so that's December 2026 year ends, or March 2027, or August 2027. Affected with effect. It's the same for those of you who do it in commercial accounts. FRS 1, a new FRS 102, it's the same implementation date as that. That's when it's begun. It's big. It's 303 pages, up from 200. Judge it in terms of, is it usable? Do the people trying to read it? Does it support good financial reporting? Charities come in different shapes and sizes and activity. Is it scalable? Does it work for different sizes and shapes? There are changes in all sections of the SORP. We're covering the most relevant parts today. I'm talking about the trustees report, so about the differences to small and large reporting around the changes to reporting reserves. The change of reporting to sustainability. There are new requirements for sustainability, or at least recommendations, and there's a new requirement for impact reporting. Again, those are over today. Then I think I'll be successful. But first of all, Chris is going to talk about aspects of the accounting. He's going to be talking, and in particular, you're going to be talking about leases, and you're going to be talking about revenue recognition, which are the bits that come in, the main bits that come in for the FRS 102 change for you. And listen to this because we know this is going to happen. And in particular, I think the leases section is the area that's going to have most effect to most charities in terms of having to do new calculations and work ahead.